Becker, and we continue to celebrate the 20th season of Red Barn Radio tonight with show number 780. Huh? Kate Hinote, our guest this evening, has always been singing, but it wasn't until she collaborated with her husband, Tony Himara, beginning in 2004, that she discovered she could also write and deliver her own songs. They both made an initial impression on the Detroit music scene more than a dozen years ago with a dream pop project called Ether Aura, and then they transitioned into a more Americana sound in 2009 with the band they called the Blue Flowers, which is still a very happening thing. Kate is joined this evening by two fantastic players, and we're so glad these talented folks could route their trip to include a stop here at Red Barn Radio in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome the Kate Hinote Trio.
and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Our guest this evening is the Kate Hinote Trio, who is Kate and David Johnson on guitar and Matthew Parmenter on violin. Excuse me. Kate has been making music in the Detroit, Michigan area for nearly 25 years, working with a variety of players with whom she has developed a sound uniquely her own. The trio performs not only Kate songs, but also a handful of tunes by other Detroit songwriters. Their debut album, Near, was released in March 2021 and showcases a dreamy and magical sound that showcases the instrument, which is Kate's extraordinary voice. Welcome the Kate Hinote Trio to Red Barn Radio.
Thank you very much. One day in a desert parlor, black ties and a reverend holler. Some dreams are a fading blast, and between there's a certain past, and oh, we stumble down the road. Fables are an endless river, tick-tock. You're the next contestant waiting in your sea of madness. No fear, they don't see your sadness, so we stumble down the road. Crawling for a pennied pocket, we're all here, and they let us watch it, say it all in peace, with a constant tension. We all know it just needs attention. Oh, we stumble down the Thank you very much. That one's called The Road. It's actually on that album that you just mentioned, Near. The next one we're going to do is one I wrote some time ago for the Blue Flowers. It's called Captive. No more have to won't make you worth it. It's not just faking. You beg, then burn me. I'll never leave your name. I'll never leave. I'll never leave your. I'll never leave. I'll never leave your mind. Thank you. All right. All right, this next one is off of our album as well. It's called Moon Draws Water. I did write this one for a Blue Flowers album called Circus on Fire. And I came up with the phrase Moon Draws Water. I was reading To Kill a Mockingbird on a trip to Florida, and I was highlighting passages. I've read it several times, but I was reading it more leisurely than being told to in high school. So I was highlighting passages, and they were talking about some character in the book that the kids, from their perspective, they couldn't understand, but people were drawn to this woman in town like the moon draws the water. And I thought that was a very interesting concept. And then I had a relationship at the time with a girlfriend of mine that felt that way. I couldn't quite understand why I personally was drawn to her. And then this kind of song came about, Moon Draws Water. Gotta be reasons that people keep leaving. She couldn't have asked me, and I wouldn't say why. This game is for nothing if I don't believe in it. And now I'm drawn to her like the moon draws water. Each little slot there with cracks that are built apart. The craziest moment was when defeating it felt like a beating, never declining a chance to be heard and seen. If there isn't anything else, who's listening to this nonsense? And so I'm drawn to her like the moon draws water. Measured out, it's just this. I pretend I can't split. Even now I can't find my way out. Serving in silence drawn to her like the moon draws water. Still I'm drawn to her like the moon draws water. Thank you. That one's one of the weirder ones, for sure. All right, we're going to do another quiet one now.
Yeah, sort of. It gets louder.
It does get a little louder. This one's called Look at Yourself. I wrote this a few years ago now. It's kind, I don't know, it's kind of about personal accountability. I don't know. It's about me and, yeah, people taking personal accountability.
All
We'll
right.
see. It's kind of clear. You can't be the middleman and be a big deal. I tiptoe from center while everyone feels. If you can't work harder than anyone else, you should lay down your anger and look at yourself. Look at yourself. Deep in your cornerstone, your spine settles in. The weight of your anger is heaved with regret. The ringing inside of you is barely a swell, and still it's telling you to look at yourself. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. You're one step from sinister and only as good as your worst day. You're one step from sinister and only as good as your worst You can't be the middleman and be a big deal. I tiptoe from center while everyone feels. If you can't work harder than anyone else, you should lay down your anger and look at yourself. Look at yourself. Look at yourself.
If you're just joining us, we are with the Kate Hinote Trio. They're from Detroit, Michigan. David Johnson is playing guitar, and Matthew Parmenter is playing violin. They have a new release. It's called Near, and I know that a lot of material from this evening is from that album, but also you're doing material from that you've recorded before and performed before with your other project.
Yes.
Is that what you call it? Do you call that your other project, or do you call that your big band?
I don't even know. Yeah, I guess that for a long time that was the main band, and then I kind of did things on the side. But now this dominates my time. But yeah, I just call him our full band because he's in that band too. Yeah, so we just call that our full band.
Yeah. So
the Blue Flowers. Yeah.
Other guitar players.
sure, and all that stuff. So I'm kind of curious. You mentioned a couple of tunes that you do.
Let's get interview mics and play out before we go on. Thank you.
There we go. So you mentioned a couple of tunes that you play with the Blue Flowers. Is "Look at Yourself" one of those?
Yeah, that was actually the first song I wrote for Circus on Fire, I think. That was actually the first song where the melody and the lyric came to me, just me all at once, in the car, just driving home from work. Usually I would be given like just a chord progression from my husband, Tony, and I would write a melody over that melody and lyrics, but this one was the first one that was fully my melody and lyrics, just we wrote a song based around that, so that was fun for me.
Yeah, well, it was a great song. I really like that
Thank
song.
you.
And I also liked the one that you called the weird one, Moon Draws
Moon
Water.
Draws Water,
No, I love
yeah.
it. It's wonderful. I'm really, hearing some fascinating phrases and things to think about. It's really kind of dreamy. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So 2009, was that the time when you were writing that first song, Look at Yourself? Was that way back that far? Right?
No, Look at Yourself. The last full length that the Blue Flowers released was 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was for that. Yeah, and that was our fifth
Fifth
full
full
length.
length.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why don't you start us off tonight by sort of rewinding into your musical past?
Sure.
If you don't mind doing that.
It's
Yeah.
fine with me. It gives me
Yeah.
something to talk about.
I would love to hear you go back to that earliest memory you have when you knew that music was going to be important for you.
Sure.
And I guess there might even be a separate moment when you decided that music was going to be the way that you expressed yourself.
Sure. I was always singing. There's a rather notorious story of my mom putting me on a fold-out kitchen chair in a little pink dress and me singing Tomorrow from Annie for my neighbors when I was 3. Yeah, I, of course, don't remember that. But yeah, I was always singing. And you don't really know if you're good or not good when you're little. You just sing, you're just singing for fun. And I did choir all through school as soon as choir was a thing. And I didn't necessarily, I would get solos here and there, but I wasn't necessarily the best singer or anything. It was just, something I loved to do.
Talking about high school?
High school, yeah. I did get a scholarship to go to Central Michigan University for music. I didn't see it through, but I did go for music for a semester.
In Mount Pleasant, right?
In Mount Pleasant, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so I always loved it. I always would sing. And then I really fell in love with, I was interested in musical theater, and it was really in like the 90s when I fell in love with like singing more alternative stuff like that. And then my first band, I was, I guess, 21, 22, and it was just a brief little stint with a girl in town that didn't necessarily work out. But then I guess I was technically a late bloomer as far as performing, because I didn't start with Either Or until I was, late 20s. So I
Either
was
Or, the project you did with your husband?
Tony, yeah. So that actually evolved into the Blue Flowers. That was a little noisier shoegaze type thing, they called it. And when we were writing, he kind of realized that Americana came more naturally to me, just whatever it was. I didn't even know. I was just like, this is what I'm doing. And he realized that it came a little faster and to me. So we kind of started to move into Americana, and then we had become so different from Either Or that we decided to change the band name to the Blue Flowers. But
So, Kate, was it? Did he say that because he knew you had kind of a fondness for a lot of Americana stuff? Was that what you were listening to, and what was sort of driving your musical interest aside from musical theater and other
no,
things?
I guess I was listening to a little bit more. It had just. I don't know. I guess it had just exploded a little bit in our house. We were listening to it all the time, and we were influenced by that. And
What kind of stuff were you guys listening to?
I
Can
don't
you
know
remember?
if Nico Case went back that far, but Nico Case, I remember falling in love with her at that time.
That's like Canadiana.
Yeah. But when Blacklisted came out, that was everything to me. Like, I was like, I wish I could be doing this. Like, I just loved everything about that. But I was more influenced by your Sarah McLachlan's, your Tori Amos, those kinds of things. But I even listened, like Barbra Streisand's Broadway album was on high repeat for me in high school. But yeah, I had a lot of influences, Patsy Cline, all that. Yeah.
Was it at Central Michigan that you felt like you got some of your first sort of real vocal training? I know it's hard to, in high school it's hard sometimes because of the numbers and
to
the
have
behavior.
like one-on-one, to have
Right.
one-on-one with a choir teacher. My choir teacher in high school was very influential for me. He was a wonderful teacher. His name was Don Daniels. I will never forget it. I gave him a mug my senior year with my photo on it. Anyway, he was very influential for me.
With your mug.
Yes, I gave him
Yeah,
a mug
right.
with my mug. Good one. But yeah, he was very encouraging, and I remember kind of everybody wanted to be the first sopranos. That was what you wanted to be, and I just wasn't. I was more of a second soprano. And when I was going to do auditions and stuff, he encouraged me to kind of reach outside my comfort zone and do a first soprano piece for my audition, and then I ended up getting a scholarship. So I would say high school I fell in love with singing. Not at college, I wasn't focused, so I didn't really give it the attention it needed at Central, so that's why I kind of gave up. And plus, when you go to school, at least at Central, they were more teaching you to teach, and I wasn't really interested in teaching. I wanted to perform. I kind of knew that then.
They didn't have you were in a music major?
I was a music major, yeah.
So they didn't have the sort of 2 tracks, one performance and one...
It didn't seem like it. Like I said, I was just kind of, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like
Sure,
too young,
sure.
you know what I mean? I was just too young to
Fair.
even know what I wanted then. But yeah, it wasn't until, honestly, my husband got a phone call at the studio that he was working at. He's a recording engineer, and a girl was looking for a singer, and he just kind of recommended me, and then that's how I performed with her a few times. That didn't last super long, but that was when I first got the taste of being in a band, being a front woman, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then Either Or, that was a blast.
Well, I do find it interesting that, your songwriting began later on in your life.
Way later, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, and it's a beautiful song. Look at yourself. Are there other songs that you're going to perform tonight that you've written? They're your songs.
We're doing. I would say most of these are originals, but when the trio got together and we wanted to release an album, we just didn't have that much material, and I didn't want to re-record all of this stuff we'd already recorded for the Blue Flowers. It just
Sure.
didn't make sense to me. I knew we'd have to draw some from that.
So what'd you do?
So I had happened by that point performing with David as a duo for couple years, and another trio before that. But I had started to kind of collect songs from other songwriters. There's we'll get to him later, but there was a songwriter that had gifted me a song. I had borrowed songs that I liked from other people, and so we ended up recording, I think it was 6 songs on the album by other Detroit songwriters. We're about to do a few of them here. And then one that Matthew wrote is on the album. And so that way we got a whole album. There's 6 Detroit songwriters, a song of Matthew's, also a Detroit songwriter. And then some by me, I guess 5 by me, yeah.
Are you involved in a...
Yeah, one we wrote together.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right. We'll talk about that one, too. I'm
Yeah, for
interested to
sure.
know about how that went. So are you involved in songwriting groups? I mean, they have those down in Nashville. They have songwriting circles. and things like that?
No, I guess I would have been a pretty solitary writer in that sense. I'd be kind of given something to write to, and then I would just sit in a room by myself and write and do that. But later on, now it's been a little more collaborative. I have a friend of mine, Erin, who is a lyricist, and she kind of gives me words that inspire me and help me write some things too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a neat collaboration.
It's handy.
Yeah.
When you've written that many songs and you've been in the same relationship for 25 years, you start to kind of, I don't know, run out of things to be mad about.
And
So I use other people's situations to write about.
Aaron is also in Blue
In the
Flowers.
yes, Erin is also in the Blue Flowers. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's that picture. So, so is that your favorite topic? Is things? If people say to you, "What do you write about?" You say, "Well, things
Things
that
that
I'm
make me
mad about."
Forever and ever and ever, we always just said that we did predominantly breakup songs, and that's true. And like I said, since I've been with the same person for 25 years, I haven't been doing a lot of breaking up. But relationships.
Comes out in the songs. You don't have to do it because it's in the
That's
songs.
right.
Oh, right.
Thank
there you go.
goodness.
It's true, actually. I lost. I forgot
Well,
what
I
was
was
gonna
just
say,
asking you if all of your songs are hateful.
They're not.
No, I'm just kidding.
All of your
That's not what
songs
I
are
said.
hate.
But I do. I
Yes.
do think that's what I was going to say. I do think that relationships and the tension and the connection
Yeah.
and the frustration that come along with them. That's a very universal thing.
Right,
that
and
people
how we get to know
experience.
and how we get to know ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
When we have to look at ourselves in a mirror like that
Yes.
so much.
And yeah, and it was easier sometimes, even in my relationship, it was easier to kind of get things out in lyrics that were kind of hidden a little bit in the vagueness of the lyrics, but I still felt like I was expressing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that "Look at Yourself" lyric because it sounds like something like "Look at yourself." It reminds me of something I heard when I was a kid. People would say, "Well, look at yourself," you know. But then I also think, well, what does that mean about the speaker of this song? Does that mean that the speaker is saying to someone, "Look at yourself"? At the same time, you think, well, gee, maybe the speaker also is doing that or has to do that.
Yes,
So I think it's a
right.
little more complex than just, look at yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just me scolding somebody.
Yeah, so right.
Yeah.
Right. I got had very much the sense that this was a song that, you allowed to be part of your sort of quest as well. So
Yes.
that's great. Hey, Matthew, while you're up near the mic and we're talking about songwriting, do you want to tell us a little bit about the song that you all wrote together, which comes actually much later in the set, but it's called "Where You Dream Now."
Before you answer that, I lost my ears. Tech questions here.
We have a tech issue,
Tech little issue.
Tech.
moment.
so I'll keep you in suspense.
Let's.
You're more familiar than I am. It was fine, and then all of a sudden it just cut out and hasn't come back. Oh,
We'll do that. Do this. Do that. Do this.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Think not.
oh, maybe, but let's talk.
Hello.
Test
No,
1, 2, 3.
no, I'm not hearing anything.
All right. Matt's got you.
Okay. And you got it turned up enough? Maybe. I mean, it was fine, and then it just literally cut out. Let's do this. Sorry.
Can I say hi to everybody watching the live stream?
Well, of course you can. That'd be great.
Hi there. If anybody's
Don't mind
watching,
me.
hello. Thanks for joining us.
Well, why don't I go ahead and answer the question that you had, unless you want me to wait?
I think we're fine.
I see no reason why you can't answer that question.
Can
So-
you refresh my memory
I can.
as to what the question
Yes,
was?
sure.
Thank you very much.
So you and Kate wrote a song together, which you're going to perform later on, which is called "Where You Dream Now."
Yeah.
And I would love to hear you talk a little bit about how that song came to be, what it's about, and how you guys collaborated on it.
Well, it's interesting because at the time that everybody was shutting down during the pandemic, and I had just joined this band, so we had to sort of take a break from each other, and we weren't really able to rehearse for a time. But at the same time, I was excited to be writing songs with her because she's got such a melodic gift, you know. So I was, and honestly, at the time that I wrote the part of the song that we collaborated on, I didn't realize at the time that she wrote the melodies for the songs that I heard her singing in her old band. I didn't realize that. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but I didn't. I guess because she said that the chords were written ahead of time. I assumed the melody was and that she did the lyrics or something. I didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Then it turns out she does the melody. But prior to my knowing that, here it is, pandemic time. We can't see each other. We can't play. So I started writing melodies that I thought maybe she could sing. And I also have a sort of a background of, when I was little, I was exposed to progressive rock, like weird bands like Gentle Giant and strange bands like that. So I grew up, like that was the first rock album I had, was that.
Nice.
So, and I thought that was normal. I thought that was what rock and roll was.
No, that's not normal.
No. And so when I write songs, sometimes they aren't in the normal time signature.
Yeah.
And I realized as I was doing this that, oh, wait, this song is in 7. And so I thought, well, that'd be interesting. I wonder if Kate's ever sung a song in 7. So I sent her a recording, you know, I emailed her a thing and said, here's a song idea. And all it was chords and a melody.
Like do-do-dos.
Yeah, like
Yes.
no words. And so she listened to it, and actually I sent her probably 5 or 6 of these things. And she picked out a couple and said, all right, well, I'm going to work on this one. So she wrote the lyrics to Where You Dream Now. And that became the song we're going to do, not now, but later.
A little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And it happens to be in 7, so if you're into that sort of thing.
No,
And
we
I
will
didn't really
be.
know.
We will be, for sure. Hey, Kate, before we get on with some more music, maybe tell us about the next 3 songs, because these are songs that are written by others.
Yeah, that's
written
right.
by your friends in Detroit and songwriters you know. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, this first one is the one that was gifted to me. A guy named Don Dupree, and he co-wrote it with Allison Lewis. I believe they're both Detroit Music Award winners. He definitely is. I can't remember if she is or not, but I know he is. He's won several. But we were just playing an open mic night, like a featured artist at an open mic night, and he pulled me backstage and basically just asked if I would sing a song that he wrote, and then told me this story about how Bonnie Raitt's hit I Can't Make You Love Me, is that what it's called? That was actually written by someone else, and then she took it and it blew off
yeah.
into superstardom. So he said it's really, you know, about the delivery of it that helps deliver the song. It's called What About Me?
Yeah.
It's a very, I don't know if we have a more traditional breakup song than this.
Right.
Yeah. And then the one after this is by a songwriter named Emily Rose. And I'll tell that story after because it's
That
a nice,
sounds good.
Yeah, it's a nice little story.
Okay, well, let's get back to some more music on Red Barn Radio. You're listening to the Kate Hinote Trio. They're from Detroit, and we're glad to have them with us tonight. Take it away, Kate.
Thanks.
Oh, tech mics. Interview mic's gone.
It seems like I've been sitting here for years, wiping down these counters and wiping away my tears. It seems like the days that just come and go. There used to be a flame, but now there's not even a glow. I guess you couldn't take it anymore. You said there's gotta be something better. You always wanted more, but we both know there'll never be enough. I just give you away and tell you to stay tough. But what about me? What about me? I guess I could just sit here let you leave. What about you? What about you? I guess you'll find somebody new. I've always done the best that I could, put up with more than most others would. What about me? What about me? What about me? I guess that thing we had is just all gone. I can't stop thinking about it. It keeps me up till dawn. No one knows the pain that's in my heart. You go on with your life, but mine's just falling apart. And all those crying, trying to believe, they weren't all lies. The things that you said to me. Maybe it's time that I face the facts. That you're moving on and you ain't never coming back. What about me? What about me? What about me? I've always done the best that I could, put up with more than most others would. What about me? 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 Thank you. All right.
That one's on the record.
That one is on our record, yes, and I think it's the one we get the most reaction to a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems to go over the strongest.
Yeah. So the next one we're going to do is called Quick, and it was written by a friend of mine, Emily Rose. She's also a Detroit Music Award-winning songwriter. Not me, but they, but they are. I've been nominated for singing, but anyway. But she is lovely, and I met her years ago, and this was one of the first songs I saw her do, and I openly wept when I saw her do it, because she just, the delivery was really great. And then she was releasing her first album in a long time, and this wasn't on it, and I gave her the business about that, because it was my favorite. I was like, I can't say the word I want to say, but I gave her the business about that, and was kind of a little aggressive about it, like it has to be on your record. And she was like, it just didn't work. And she sent me what she recorded, and she's like, it just doesn't work, I can't do it. And then she finally just said, well, do you want it? And so she basically was just like, you do it. You want it on a record so bad, you do it. So she basically let me have this one, and I don't know, we added it pretty soon on. We added this one to what we were doing. So yeah, he and I were performing it for a minute. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Quick. And she told a good story about how it's those people that kind of come in and out of your life pretty quickly. For you, I made myself into a shooting star. I thought if I kept moving, I could keep you guessing. You could keep a vision of me unclouded by the truth of what I am, which is not good for you. I could eat a rotten cake, then come to you with a tummy ache. I could lay my head in your lap if you drive us someplace safe. Sing to you in the evening if it'll keep you from leaving. We could talk a little less, do a little more. Or you could go, or you could go, or you could go, or you could go. For you, I made myself into some cheap red wine. I thought if I kept quiet, you would just sleep through it. You could get used to it. A universal love that only works well. In theory, we work well. In theory, oh well. It was clearly not in the cards or the tea leaves. Or you could go for bigger dreams, or you could go make public scenes, or you could go find someone new, or you could go, they always do, or you could go impatiently, or you could go, why wait for me, or you could go, it's all the same, or you could go quick as you came, or you could go write poetry, and we both know it's about me, or you could go, it's up to you, or you could go, it's what I do, or you could go, 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 or you could go. That one's nice because we don't get to do that very often. It's a little dainty for most rooms that we play. And you need a listening audience for that one, so thank you. Yeah. All right, so this one's fun. This one's called New Creature. It's by a songwriter named Matthew Smith. He's in a band called Outrageous Cherry and another one called the Volbeats. I think they just put something out. They've been playing forever. But he's a well-known figure in the Detroit music scene for sure, especially his band Outrageous Cherry. Anyway, yeah, this one's got another good story. I walked up to him at Bolero in Royal Oak, and I said, I'm going to record an album with this new trio, and I'd love to do one of your songs. And I said, I'm thinking New Creature. And he was like, sure, do it. And then he told me a story about Alice Cooper had just recently contacted him to cover one of his songs. And I was like, wow, I can't really compete with that, but okay. And so when this was well before, and this would have been right before everything shut down. So then Alice Cooper's record with Matthew Smith's song came out a week before my record with Matthew Smith's song on it. Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Is-
it's called.
Is Alice Cooper a DMA award winning?
He is not.
He
No.
might be.
Yeah.
I mean, they have national.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I don't know if he's won
I
it.
bet he has at some point. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that wins a lot.
Detroit loves Alice Cooper, so yes.
But he stole your thunder.
He did steal my thunder. That's all right, though.
Oh well.
I was happy. I was like, hey. All right, so this is New Creature. I need a new creature who mirrors in dreams, enigmatically perfect, not at all what she seems, with a calculating mind, transported to contact, a brand new species we want to attract. A new creature, a new creature, a new creature. La la la, 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 la la la. I want a new creature, tell me what it all means. His truths, his illusions, his good and bad scenes. Just a lost planet eyes, a magazine lips. I'll stare, I don't care which way the coin flips. With my new creature, with my new creature, with my new creature. La la la, 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 la la la. Give me a new creature to have and to hold in this place of indifference. Well, our souls are bought and sold. The story's so old and the facts don't add up. They just recklessly fascinate, unleash, and corrupt. My new creature, my new creature, my new creature. La la la, 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 la la la. Thank you.
We've got lots more music and conversation with the Hinote Trio, but I'd like to take a minute to remind listeners of a couple of things. First of all, Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience on the Red Barn YouTube channel. Our live video stream is also available on the weku.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in Central New York. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and be sure to tell other people what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. A couple of months ago, I had my first conversation with next week's guest. He's a great Kentucky singer-songwriter who writes some powerful music. Lance Rogers, who currently lives in Berea, has opened for a number of Red Barn alums, from Arlen McKinley to Justin Wells. Lance recorded his 2021 self-titled debut album, Down the Street with Mr. Dwayne Lundy, thanks to a Kickstarter campaign driven by a fast-growing fan base who loves the grit in Lance Rogers' voice and the honesty in his lyrics. You're going to love it, too. He's going to be playing tunes off his new album with a super ensemble of players, so don't miss it. That's next week, Lance Rogers on Red Barn Radio. Red Barn Radio, listen to the live. Hey, we got to do that together. I'll say Red Barn Radio, and everybody listen to the live. Red Barn Radio. Listen to the live. That's right. That's how we do it. All right. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the grand city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back the Kate Hinote Trio to Red Barn Radio.
Bold move to break it down when your resolve had withered out. All is fair in love and war. We weather firestorms. We were sweet perverts together. Most people don't find that ever. It was pure as anything else. Now we'll never get to tell. Dressed in leather, heavy weather. I'm getting under it. Dressed in leather, heavy weather. I'm getting under it. I feel so sick. Before the wind was fire, your face was earth and water. So long, lonely daughter, sky is falling on us. You should distance yourself from this. So much beauty ruined. Maybe that's what beauty gets. Just another cruel loving. Dressed in leather, heavy weather. I'm getting under it. Dressed in leather, heavy weather. I'm getting under it. I feel so sick. Thank you. That one's called Dresden Leather. It's by a friend of mine, J. Allen Thomas. That one I just picked because I liked it. It wasn't given to me. I asked him if I could do it, and he said sure. And then he told me a great story about how he wrote it. Well, he was on a lot of cold medicine and watching a documentary about the Dresden bombings. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to know what a song is about. But yeah. All right, so the next one we're going to do is one of mine, written for Blue Flowers album in 2014. Yeah, the album's called At the Edge of Disaster. We're going to do that later. But this one's called Almost Crazy, and for a while it was a theme song of mine, Almost Crazy. You left me so burdened and gravity held. I fell in the trenches of where it all spilled. you. That solo was wicked. I like that one. Good job, Matthew. All right. Oh yeah, this one. All right. This next one is it's on our record. This is one that David and I were doing for a long time. We did it with a trio we had with our friend Aaron called Kate Hinote and the Disasters. That was called. We did that for a couple years. Yeah, it was legit disastrous, but fun. Anyway, so there's a band in Detroit called Duende. They're good friends of mine.
Ole.
And yes, Ole. And when I met them and our two bands, the Blue Flowers and Duende, kind of fell in love, they wanted me to sing on their album. And so I co-wrote this song with them, and it was fun. And this is the title track off of one of their albums, and I sing the lead on it. It's super fun. It's called Murder Doesn't Hide the Truth. And I'm singing, I think it's obvious, but I'm singing from the perspective of a person who has been taken out, I guess.
A person who has been murdered.
Yes,
A murder victim.
yes. But they really wanted to write a murder ballad, and so they involved me in that. Yes.
You killed it.
Yeah. I knew it would be over soon. The way you stood across the room, your face Thank you.
You're listening to the music of the Kate Hinote Trio. They're here with us on Red Barn Radio tonight. They're on a little trip from Detroit and making the rounds in Kentucky and sharing their great music right here, which is terrific. I like having you there for us. That's nice. Before you, no, I should say not before you, but after you sang Emily's song earlier on. You said that's a song for sort of dainty rooms. That's the
Yes.
way you put it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering, did you have in mind when the duo became the trio? Did you have in mind sort of ramping up from sort of daintiness to something a little bit larger than
Actually,
dainty?
I feel like it was the opposite. We were always trying to do a little bit more upbeat stuff because
Because there were just two of you.
there were only two of us.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and we did feel so. We had another singer for a while, tons of harmonies, and we were playing a ton, and she moved away, and so it was him and I just for a while. We've been playing together. It's been 13-something years now, a long time.
Yeah.
And when she moved away, I mean, I wasn't gonna stop. I really didn't. I liked playing, and he likes playing, and it's harder to get a rock band together to play. So we just kept going at it with the duo shows. And it got to a point I don't know, we just didn't feel like we were connecting with people. We didn't really know what was missing.
Yeah.
We kind of missed having the third element, and it just
That extra person to
the
harmonize.
extra voice and all that. And I mean, we did that for a while, over a year, I'd say a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
And it was after one particularly brutal gig that was, I mean, it wasn't meant to be a show where people were listening. It was kind of in a office building where people are eating their lunch and kind of just walking through. It wasn't really meant to be a listening room, but in those situations, you are hoping you kind of draw somebody in.
Sure.
And we would get occasional person would stop and, watch us for a second, but we just, it wasn't really,
I love that pose.
just, what are you doing? And I'd just be like, hi, thank you, please don't leave. And then they would go. But yeah, it started to not be as fun. And I'm not gonna lie, I was almost ready to give up. I was pretty frustrated
wow.
with it
Yeah.
all. And should I let you tell the story of how Matthew came into the
Matthew tells the
fold?
story better.
You tell it. but-
Well, yeah. So we don't have any material from you yet, David.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
think
you
it's
have
your
at it.
David Johnson on guitar
how we
is now
brought
going to
Matthew
tell us.
into the fold?
Yes, how Matthew came in.
Well, I mean,
I crashed the party.
yeah, he crashed. Well, I've known Matthew for about, 20, 25 years.
Oh.
He's played in other bands. He fronts a band.
He was a fan, Matthew.
Well, I'm a fan of Matthew's.
Yes.
Yeah. He's
Is a fan, yes.
continue to be a fan.
Yes.
Gee, I don't know.
You ran into him at a show.
Well, first of all, the way that I was able to get Matthew on Kate's radar was
yes.
we had a release party for the Blue Flowers for our Circus on Fire album, and we asked if he would do an opening set, doing an acoustic guitar set, and so that put him on Kate's radar and all that stuff. And then
the showcases, the acoustic showcases. Yeah.
oh, and then the acoustic showcases. Yep, sorry. And then after Aaron moved away and we were a duo and we're kind of running the course with that, I bumped into Matthew at a show by the Musical Box, which is a band from Quebec that does.
Yes, we've got a fan here.
It's a big budget Genesis tribute band where they actually get the original slides from The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway from Genesis, and I bumped into him there. And that's when he's like, hey, I'm playing a lot of violin now. And I didn't even know that you played violin, I think, at the time. And he's like, if the Blue Flowers or your duo needs a violin, I'm available, that kind of thing. And I'm like, hey, Kate,
Yes.
remember this guy? And all that stuff. And
I can take it from here.
yeah, go ahead. And it took a while.
Yeah, so it took me a while. So at first I was.
long time.
It took me months.
Why?
I thought it died. I thought, oh, they're not interested.
So, Kate, what took such a long time?
So I was hesitant to bring somebody in. I have a small circle, and so I was a little after I had lost a bass. A bass player had left our band, and then our friend singer, she left on good terms, but she moved out of state. So I kind of was nervous about bringing someone else that might leave. I just was kind of hesitant about that. But I think it was about 4 months and we had that doozy of a show. And I basically called him to a rehearsal, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I mean, this is just like, these shows just are not they're not as fulfilling. I'm not connecting with people. And he said, well, don't forget, you know, Matthew said he'd play. And I was just like, okay, fine. Like, I was kind of like, that's whatever, fine. And my typical, you know, or I might have actually been crying and been like, okay, I'll try. But anyway, and so then even after that, once we made the decision, it took maybe a month to get together. And then the first time he came and played, I think we only had 3 songs we could really work on, 3 or 4. And I mean, I almost cried when I heard it because I was so excited. It was so beautiful, and it just was like having another voice. You know, it was, and it's different. He plays, it wasn't what I expected, and it just added this element that was unexpected to me, and it kind of fired me back up.
Well,
That's
that was
kind
some, yeah.
That's part of
Right.
what I like about this too, is we don't quite know how to categorize this music.
Must we?
We must.
Exactly.
We needn't. But we, you know.
People
it's-
want to.
Is it Americana? No. It's not folk. It's not rock. We don't know what it is, but we're all sort of bringing our own talent to this and our own effort, and it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's different.
Yeah. So when you are putting together violin parts for these tunes, when you all are sort of composing these, arranging these pieces
arranging, right,
together, are you thinking, is it a new exercise for you to be thinking about being that that sort of duet voice that Kate was talking about earlier? She was talking about how they had that vocalist who filled that thing out. Is that a focus of yours as an accompanist to complement the voice and even harmonize on the melody?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm trying to stay out of her way, but support. And sometimes I'm actually doing harmonies that might have been done in the past by the vocalist.
Yeah.
But they've been very, like the first rehearsal that we had, I didn't know the songs, never heard them, and was just improvising, and they liked that. And I remember asking, like at the second rehearsal, well, do you want me to just keep improvising, or do you want fixed parts? And she said, I'd like fixed parts. So then I was like, okay, I got to formalize what I'm doing. I can't just mess around in the key, you know. And at that point, I really had to sort of start trying to fix things, and then Kate would give feedback and say things like, well, okay, well, do that. What you're doing sounds great, but do it down an octave the first time, and then take it up an octave. Or, you know, sometimes she would have, but I mean, I have to say, it's been great because they're very supportive of what I do, and most of the time I'm allowed to be very free in this trio, and they sort of accept me for what I'm doing. So it's pretty cool.
Talk a little bit about those times when you don't feel free, Matthew.
Well, right now, for example.
We'll see if Kate can really look at herself.
No, I mean, you're joking, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. Because I don't want to go there.
Yeah. No, I mean, just we don't feel that. I don't feel that. But I mean, I guess that's part of the natural thing that happens in, you know, in a creative pursuit, right? Mm-hmm. We are going to run into those times. And
Well, I mean, the truth is, when David left out a part, he said that he invited me to do, he also invited me to come see their band. So I'd seen the trio once. And
I will never forget that.
I couldn't believe it. I was amazed at her voice, and I thought, wow, she sings in tune.
oh, right.
I thought
That's novel.
I mean, that's not the end all be all, but it's pretty cool. And I actually thought maybe she was using a pedal or a tuner or something, faking it.
He thought I was tricking him.
I thought,
Auto-tuning?
I still think
Yeah.
you're tricking me. No, and so I was really impressed. And then I went and saw their full band, and she was still doing it. And I thought, she was in a pedal up there, and that was partly why I wanted to play with them, because
Wow.
I wanted to jam with you guys, and I wanted to see if she was using a pedal or a tuner or something. But she's not. That's just how she sings.
Kate, do you sing the songs the same way each time? For the most part?
I would say for the most part,
Yeah.
yes. It takes me a while, like with a new song, it takes me a while to kind of get it how I want it. But once I have it, I'm pretty much singing it the same every time. Although they have evolved over the years, like the way it was recorded on the Blue Flowers record, a lot of those songs don't. I've just grown as a singer, so they don't sound like that anymore. You know.
You know, it's funny. You know, since you're not someone who sits either at or holding an instrument, I would think that, right, that journalist types like myself always want to talk about the voice. And yet it's interesting to me. I don't feel like you're here to flaunt your pipes. I feel like, you know, there's a sound and meaning and something that you want to come across with all of this.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of curious to hear what you might say when you talk about the vocal role in your music, and yeah,
The
how that
vocal
plays
role
out for
in
you.
my music.
Yeah, it's not like I say David on guitars and Matthew on violin and you know, Kate on vocals. I don't think of saying. I want to say Kate on voice.
Sure, yeah. So for a long time, I did feel like that, like I was just the voice, and I thought that people didn't know or take seriously that I'm also a songwriter. I can't play. That's frustrating for me. I can play a little bit of piano, and I can play a little bit of guitar because Matthew practically insisted. But I can't play well enough to write. So I do rely on people to help me with the music part. But it did occur to me along the way that I am writing all these melodies. So I am songwriting. I'm writing melodies. I'm writing music through the melody and the lyrics, of course. So yeah, there's always a vibe. I am always kind of after a vibe. It's a little gloomy. It's a little dark. I am starting to kind of edge a little bit into some lighter stuff, but we're not doing any of that tonight. But yeah, the Blue Flowers is a project with, you know, my husband. This is more kind of my thing, and I get to kind of produce it more. You know, I get to be a little more in control of things, and you know, it's nice to have someone. They're just so supportive, and they're both yes men in that way. Like I'll be like, you want to go play this show here, then do this and that, and they're just like, okay, you know, like I don't have to, you know, wrangle 6 people with heavy amps and all that stuff, you know. But creatively, this has been a game changer for me. Writing with Matthew and having access to his skill set is incredible for me. But it's just nice to have that kind of support, and especially creatively. Yeah. I don't know if I even answered your question. I have no idea.
You were asking also about her voice, and one of the things that I'm attracted to in her voice is this, like you said, she's not showing off her pipes or anything.
Right.
And she's not a jazz musician either, which I hope she will be someday. But I hope she delves
Relentless.
into that. I
Yeah.
know. But she has a very pure sound. It's just attractive singing. You know, it isn't like, it's not like you said, showing off the pipes. It's just, here's the you know, and it's not to say it's dull or anything like that. I'm just saying it's like very pure, and that's what I was attracted to. It's like, wow, that's just pleasant sounding.
I am just trying to kind of let it out. You know, I'm just trying to let out the sound and deliver. I think of the songs as like little packages, little gifts.
Well, yeah, it's not like the lyrical content of these songs is light.
No.
I mean, it's stuff to listen to, it's stuff to think about,
Yeah.
and
I leave it a little open to interpretation too, so people can kind of put a little meaning in it too that helps them, or that they like, you know, or that it relates to their situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great watching you perform and
Thank you.
hearing all of you and talking with you, and I'm just glad the evening's not over.
Yeah.
We've got some more music to go
Yeah.
with the Kate Hinote Trio on Red Barn Radio.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna do one. This is the title track off of a Blue Flowers record. And at the time, Dave and I were, and still are, disastrous.
Oh, sure.
So that inspired the Kate Hinote and the Disasters, this song. It's called At the Edge of Disaster.
Clumsy.
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 I sit on a table with my sunglasses on. I'm waiting to fight you, but hope that you will. you. Oh, okay. Oh, good. All right, we're going to do a new one. We're only doing a couple new ones tonight. This is one of them. It's called Slow Release. We are hoping to put out a record maybe next year. We'll see how that goes. I think we've got five done. Yeah.
No problem.
What?
No problem.
No problem. We'll get it done. All right, this one's called Slow Release. Let's see how this goes. Something in me has a thing for you. I cannot say what's making me feel like I do. Unfamiliar and unaccustomed to the way you make me feel. I need to follow through. Lost in a slow release, letting go. I might not know where it ends, where there's no release, and I must make out I'm just a friend in a slow release, knowing I could stop myself in the end, letting go, release till it comes again. There's something in you got a hold on me. I just can't control this longing to be free. My desire, how I long to share. Might you turn to me if I made you aware? Lost in a slow release, letting go. I might not know where it ends, where there's no release, and I must make out I'm just a friend in a slow release, knowing I could stop myself in the end, letting go, release till it comes again. Lost in a slow release, letting go. I might not know where it ends, where there's no release, and I must make out I'm just a friend in a slow release, knowing I could stop myself in the end, letting go, release till it comes again. Thank you. All right, we're gonna do "Where You Dream Now." This is the first song that we wrote together for this group, and it took me a while. He was telling the story about how he, I want to say you were inspired by our trio, and and he gave me all these chords, and this is the one I picked. But it took months. It wasn't finished for a while. I'm a slow writer, that's for sure, especially with lyrics. All right, "Where You Dream Now." Get it. I like these guys.
Okay.
Yeah. I will reside in silent motion. Windows of pain flash. I don't care what
Well, we hope you have enjoyed your evening with the Kate Hinote Trio as much as we have. We are ever grateful for all the folks who bring this show to reality each and every week, our volunteers and staff who make our production happen so beautifully each week. And we want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn radio stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, NPR, for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU, NPR, for Central and Eastern Kentucky, as I said. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, by the way, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Now, before we close out tonight's program, let's bring back the Kate Hinote Trio, who will send us home with one more number. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us today. This has been lovely for us. We don't get experiences like this very often. This is beautiful. We're going to do one more new one for you. This is, I guess, the latest, I think, that we have added. It's called If I Should Go. I'm not going to talk about it.
We're going to go.
Yes, and then after this, we're going to go.
There
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can also listen to archived performances on Spotify and iTunes and watch mountains of video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Hey, remember this, every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, get out and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. From all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.